Welcome to the White Sox REKAP Podcast. I am Ryan McGuffey. A little bit of a different look this week. That's because the White Sox sprung maybe a little bit of a bombshell for most of us. Number 2 prospect in the organization, number 21 overall in MLB pipeline, Braden Montgomery has been called up by the Chicago White Sox, the 12th rookie to make his Major League debut for the Chicago White Sox in 2026. You're going to hear from Braden Montgomery. You're going to hear from Chris Getz. You're going to hear from Will Venable. Why is the time now? Right when the White Sox are in the middle of a gauntlet schedule. The Atlanta Braves, the Los Angeles Dodgers, the New York Yankees. It doesn't matter. When they feel like these guys are ready to go, boom, they are here. Braden Montgomery, the latest White Sox prospect to make his Major League debut. And we hear from him on this edition of the White Sox REKAP Podcast, and it starts right now. All right, welcome into the podcast here at Wright Field, where the White Sox, I had a curveball. This is a curveball because I had a different podcast planned with MLB Network analyst Dan Plesac, who was with the White Sox in Philadelphia over the weekend. Then the news came out that the White Sox were promoting Braden Montgomery, their number 2 overall prospect, the prize of the Garrett Crochet trade to Boston. And so we pivoted. And here I am at the ballpark catching up with the big news here in Chicago. Braden Montgomery has made the trip, and he's in the lineup to face the Atlanta Braves. And before we hear from Braden Montgomery, a lot of people go, well, they're playing the Braves, they're playing the Dodgers, they're playing the Yankees. I would push back. I would caution you and say that the last 2 years have been a little bit different in the way the White Sox do business. They have been calling up guys the last 2 seasons during Will Venable's tenure. When they're ready, regardless of the opponent. And I asked Chris Getz and Will Venable why. The schedule doesn't matter, the opponent doesn't matter. It's about when the player is ready.
I think it just speaks to these players and the fearlessness, and when you look back on when certain players have made their major league debuts, whether it be this season or years past, and sometimes you can get a little too cute on where you're positioning these guys, and I think the players got to let you know, because if you're looking at a schedule based on we're going to be facing this team and these guys are going to be throwing, who knows where that player is going to be on the development side, because a guy could be hot and then he gets cold. So I'd rather the player really tell us when they're ready, regardless. And I when you have a couple of examples of players that have done that and have had success, it gives you a little bit more confidence to not focus on that variable and just really focus on the individual.
He's here to play. We're not going to call him up here and sit him on the bench. I mean, he's a guy that we're excited to have in the lineup on a daily basis. You'll see him in the outfield, probably mostly right field. He projects as an above-average right fielder, above-average center fielder, but I think with the way we're working structure right now, it would probably be mostly right field. But yeah, excited to have him out there.
And being a switch hitter, is it pretty much every day, or are there certain matchups you're looking for more?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that he has been more productive over his career from the left side of the plate, but he's, more than adequate on the right side as well. So I think we do view him as an everyday guy. If there's times, because of, a certain matchup that we want to get him a day, just like every other guy, then we'll do it. But I think we expect to see him in there mostly every day.
You could look at the schedule and say, you got a tough gauntlet right now with Braden, but you guys have not done that since you've been here, regardless of prospect. When they come up, you play him. It doesn't matter. You're looking for a soft spot to play him. This is a tough stretch. You're ready, right?
Yeah, and it's the big leagues. There's a lot of tough stretches. Every day seems like a tough assignment. The pitching in this league is outstanding, and certainly we have some good teams coming in here, but really it's been about our guys and them continuing to develop and feel like that they're ready for the big leagues, and we know the big leagues are hard, and they're prepared for that.
I thought Will Venable was really particularly good, to be honest with you, the way he said, look, this kid's not here to sit. He's here to play. And that's one thing the White Sox have been doing regularly when they've been calling these guys up. You've seen it on the north side. They call up their prospects. Not a lot of playing time. Here, it's a lot different. With the White Sox thoroughly in the mix of the wild card and AL Central race, Braden Montgomery is a piece that the White Sox expect big things from to help this playoff push. As for Braden Montgomery, how he found out, when he found out, the excitement of being here. This was a kid I want you to hear from, because there's a lot of thoughts I have after we hear nearly the 10-minute availability he had after his first BP session here at Rate Field. Let's hear from Braden Montgomery right before he makes his Major League debut against the Atlanta Braves.
What has this been like for you this 48 hours?
Yeah, no, it's been crazy. It's been just a lot to take in. I don't know if I've fully digested it yet, but it's surely a lot different than AAA ballparks and AAA everything. I mean, the media attention, the teammates, it's meant a lot. So.
Does it meant that so many players have been able to come up and make impacts? Young players like yourself can do it too.
Yeah, no, it's been really cool to see, really inspiring to see, really cool to see peers, guys that I played with in spring training, guys that I played with in Charlotte and Birmingham, see them do their thing, and it's reassuring that you've already shared the field with those guys before, so it's something that you can aspire to do. It doesn't feel as far-fetched when you see your teammates doing that stuff, so it's encouraging, and it's finally here. So.
Why are you prepared for this moment?
Because it's all I've been thinking about and dreaming about since I decided I wanted to pursue baseball. And so while I don't really know what all it'll entail, I know that I've gone into each day giving it my best shot, and so whatever happens, I can live with the results.
When did you find out? Yeah, how did you find out the news?
Chad Pender, our manager, called me while I was at home. It was our off day yesterday, so I was just hanging out at home. He gave me the call and said I needed to go stop by the field and get going, since I needed to be at the airport in a couple hours. And so it was really, really cool.
Braden, this team right now is a contending team. How cool is that to join a team that is contending, especially with some of the guys that you already know in that clubhouse?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's something that you only really I've only understood from one side of it, and that's kind of watching MLB Network and seeing guys break down teams and talk about playoff races and whatnot. And so I don't really know what all it is as a player. So I'm excited to learn what goes into that, what goes into winning ball games at this level, how that happens for different teams and how they're made up. And so I'm just excited to learn all that comes with it from this side of things, from this side of TV.
When you were at spring training, did you feel that you would be here definitely this season?
I don't know. It's not really something I focused on. It was more of every single day, no matter where I'm at, what level I'm playing at, what city I'm in, I want to be a little bit better than I was the day before. And there are people that have jobs that are about deciding who's ready for what, who goes where, and so that's not really my area of focus. I play ball, and I enjoy playing ball, and I enjoy getting better at it. And then whenever the people at the top say that it's time to do something, then it's time to go. So.
Family coming?
What was that?
Do you have family here tonight?
I do. Plenty of family to be here. That's a great question. I kind of left that up to my parents to coordinate all that and see who all is going to show up. But a lot of family and a lot of family friends, a lot of close friends that'll be here. So I'm excited to embrace everybody and to see everybody out there.
How do you describe your practice?
It was awesome. It was super cool. It's, like I was saying, it's a little different. The stadium's a little different than the one in Charlotte. And so it's cool just to take it in, to see the seats that'll hopefully be filled soon, and kind of imagine what it's going to be like. But soon enough, I'll see it.
How do you describe yourself as a player, and what do you bring to the table for people that haven't seen you?
Yeah, I just say I'm a fun, dynamic player. I enjoy being with my teammates, being around them, feeding off of what they do, and I like to think I can do a whole lot of different things on the ball field, and so I'll be able to make it happen, to try my best to contribute to wins in all facets, and never the same player. I am looking to move the needle in all facets of my game each day, and so that's kind of what I aspire to do. I'm not the same player week to week, month to month, and hopefully definitely not year by year. So.
Have you spent much time in Chicago?
I've been up here a few times. My stepdad was raised in South Side Chicago. He went to Leo High School, and so we've been out here a few times.
What's it like to know you're going against one of the best teams in MLB?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But again, it's not something you really focus on because their record comes from a lot of different games, and the only game we can focus on is the one tonight. And so we take it inning by inning, pitch by pitch, and so you look back at the end of the game and say, wow, that was a really good team. But in the moment, you're focused on what pitch you're getting, and you're focused on what pitch your guys are throwing and how you need to play the ball defensively. And so we'll just take it pitch by pitch.
In spring training, you said envisioning this moment that you would send a text that I'm outside, and when they're ready to send a text that come on in, that you'd be ready to wreak havoc. Where does that confidence come from?
Just the work you put in. I mean, you got to know that when you go into something, your preparation is what's gonna come out. It's not rising to the level of the occasion, but sinking to the level of your preparation. And so it's giving yourself the best chance to be successful in every moment, and confidence plays a role in that. If you can see yourself succeeding, if you can understand what that'll be like, then you've got a better chance. I mean, that's what you're focused on. So I want to give myself the best chance to be successful, and I feel like that's part of that.
You can play all three outfield positions. Do you have a preference for any of the three?
Anything that gets me in the lineup.
Kind of on that note, Will said that they didn't call you up to keep you on the bench. The plan is to have you in the lineup on a regular basis to take a little bit of the pressure off, knowing that you're going to be out there every day for a while.
I'd say I try not to put pressure on myself at all. I mean, it's you go and you do wherever your name is written. If your name's written on the bench that day, you're ready for a possibly important pinch hit at bat. If you're in the lineup, you're ready for whatever that takes. And so it's really just a matter of being where your feet are and executing whatever role you have for that day. Because I mean, we're all on the same roster, we're all on the same dugout, so everyone has a role you got to play.
What kind of reception did you get from your teammates here? What type of reception did they give you when you walked through the door?
Yeah, it's a brotherhood. Guys are all welcoming, super welcoming. I mean, to see those guys walking around in spring training a little bit, a couple new faces, but it's all welcoming. Guys, I'm sure the guys remember being in the spot of coming up for their first game, and so I'm sure that they resonate with me a little bit. But yeah, no, everyone's super welcoming.
Having that and also interacting with Will a bit, this spring, you kind of have a feel for what the identity of this team is and how you fit into it, kind of walking in a little bit already?
I don't know, we'll see. I feel like a lot of that comes just from putting boots on the ground and actually being out there and making it happen. It's different watching it on TV in the clubhouse in Charlotte or hearing about it or hearing the messages. You kind of got to be in the trenches with the guys to see what it's like. And so I think that I'll gel well. But yeah, I probably have an idea of what it's going to be like, but we'll see tonight.
I know you've been known to keep a tidy dugout from time to time.
Yeah.
Is that still the plan in the major leagues, and where did that start?
I'd say that started maybe senior high school. If you know better, you do better, and especially because it's our stuff, it's our team, our guys, and we already have so many people that provide for us and that serve us in so many different ways. There's for something that's as simple as throwing your trash away, it's something that should be upheld by the guys. It's our trash. Why not take accountability for it? And so, yeah.
Who taught you that?
What was that?
Who taught you that?
Probably various figures in my life, just further reinforcing it. I mean, we heard coming up that it's you leave the place better than you found it, and so after hearing that so many times, eventually it either resonates with you why you do that, or you just kind of forget about it and move on to the next thing. And I guess I kind of just sat with it and understood that we've got a lot. We live a good life, and people serve us in so many different ways. There's a reason why you should pick up after yourself and not burden others unnecessarily. So, thank you.
Thanks, Braden. Congrats. I really don't know where to start with Braden Montgomery. This is a kid, you want to talk about thoughtful, confident, ready for the moment, regardless of the opponent. This is a kid that 0 for 10, 0 for 15, he seems that he's ready for whatever comes to him here in the major leagues. He's certainly a guy that's torn the cover off the ball since he's been with the White Sox in their minor league organization. Did it in Birmingham this year, was doing it with an over 900 OPS in Charlotte this year. And there was starting to be that feeling, that trend, that it was only a matter of time before Braden Montgomery would be the 12th prospect, the 12th rookie to make his major league debut. Nearly unheard of. We haven't heard of this in Major League Baseball in over 50 years, and it's for a team that actually can say that they have playoff aspirations. So we'll see what happens with Braden Montgomery, but look, folks, I think he's here to stay. Regardless of what happens, that kid's going to be a plug-and-play, switch-hitting right fielder, a position that the White Sox have longed to find a replacement for Maglia Ordonez and Jermaine Dye. Think about what I just said. Maglia Ordonez and Jermaine Dye. That's how long it's been since the White Sox have had a plug-and-play right fielder that you can stick out there and just insert him in the lineup. I think for now he's probably in that bottom third, but this is a kid, I think, when he's ready to do it, 2, 3, 4, 5, he's going to be in the middle of the White Sox order for a long time to come. We'll hear from Brian Anderson. We'll hear from Jonathan Hood on the next edition of the White Sox Recap Podcast, because I had to hit the pause button, race down to the rate, and get the big news for you, the White Sox Recap Podcast fan. We appreciate you listening to this edition of the podcast, wherever you're listening on audio form, Spotify, Apple, and everywhere else. And if you're watching here on YouTube, we always appreciate you. You know that. And if you're not one of the nearly 255,000 subscribers on the channel, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and every time these knuckleheads drop a podcast, boom, you get it. For BA, who's not here, for Jonathan Hood, who's not here, Braden Montgomery, Chris Getz, Will Venable, and the Chicago White Sox for taking care of us here today at the ballpark. Thanks for watching this edition of the White Sox Recap Podcast. I'm Ryan McGuffey. We'll see you next time.